Hey guys, it's Comic Quiz here with a comic review, and today I'm going to be doing Superman issue 23.3 Hell. This is the Hell storyline that's going to be taking place for Villains Month for Superman issue 23.3, the third Villains issue for the Superman title. If you ever read the Hell on Earth story arc, then you'll remember that at the end of that, Hell was transported back in time, but he was still wounded. He was wounded because of kryptonite poisoning, but he was able to go back to a time where Jor-El was pretty much a young and up and coming scientist, pretty much like a teenager, something like that. So pretty much I think time has gone on since then. Jor-El has been studying Hell's body, trying to work out why his body has been able to absorb so much radiation where it has, making him stronger. He's noticed that's giving him some sort of abilities, and this is all hypothesis, by the way. But he hypothesizes that the abilities that this radiation that Hell has absorbed give him things like super strength, speed, and vulnerability, things like that. So that was really cool to see Jor-El's scientific prowess, even at a young age, was shining through. Also, we get to see a lot of monologues from Hell, because even though he is physically he's in a coma or something like that, but internally he's alive. He's alive and he's awake. He's able to project his essence in a way, kind of like in an astral form, kind of like what Dr. Psycho does. So he kind of does that, and we get a lot of monologues from him talking about how he admires Jor-El, how even at a young age Jor-El was far above all the scientists, that he really has no peers, that Jor-El is like the main guy, even at his young age. So then later on we see that Jor-El, he gets summoned by the Science Council, who are pretty much saying that they don't have time for Jor-El's current work right now, because Jor-El has all these theories now, because they found a shard of kryptonite that came from Hell's chest, but it's not something that you can find anywhere on Krypton except for the core, where Jor-El, who he has theorized that Hell has come from the future, meaning that in order to get this kind of rock, this kind of kryptonite, the planet must have blown up or something. So that was his hypothesis, and people were saying that all the Science Council was like, oh, blasphemy, how can you be saying such foolishness, things like that, everything you're saying is all fantasy, blah blah. But they don't want to believe, even though Jor-El protests, but they all ignore him. And Hell was also saying how foolish people are, saying how that Jor-El even now is so much wiser than all of you. So what else happens? So yeah, after that Jor-El gets dismissed, and then he's accompanied by Zod, who's also we see a young Zod here, him and Jor-El are friends. So then he's talking, so then Zod and Jor-El get talking, and Jor-El talks to Zod about a product he has, whereby he takes him to his little secret lab that he owns, and that he's trying to sneak some cells aboard a ship that's on a ship owned by a general who Zod is working under. So as this is going on, because he was trying to test how does the cells of a Kryptonian respond to different types of radiation, and that's what he wants to try and work out. But while he's saying this to Zod in his lab, Hell's noticing that he's saying he's been in this lab before, even though he remembers this lab somehow, even though he's never been there before, saying how it feels so familiar. But then he starts seeing a lot of things that are familiar, like the ship that he was brought in, the what else? The star map that he was using to navigate through the various galaxies and solar systems. But then he all comes down to the realization that Hell was not actually a real person, that he was actually created by Jor-El himself. Everything he knew, his emotions, everything was all false. How in actual fact it was actually just some sort of cell, these cells created by Jor-El, just for some scientific experiment, so something like that. I think that's what it is. It's kind of confusing to understand what actually happens at the end, but I think that's what it is. He's not actually a real person, and he was actually created by Jor-El. So when Hell realizes this, it forces him to wake up. He's now not in a coma anymore. He's frustrated, he's angry, he feels betrayed. All his memories have all been a lie. So he starts killing people. And also, to point out, he has his Kryptonian, well, not his Kryptonian, but his abilities. So, and they're on Krypton, so I'm thinking like, what? How is this? Does this make sense? Like, they shouldn't have their abilities since they're under a red sun, but maybe there's an exception since the fact that his cells have been drenched in all this solar like this yellow sun radiation, so maybe that's the reason why, but even still, that's very iffy. But even still, he's awake, he starts killing all the guards, and starts making his way to Jor-El. He eventually gets to the lab, he kills Zod, surprisingly he fries him with his heat vision, and then Jor-El's pleading with him, saying like, you don't have to do this, you can help us save Krypton. But then Tells like he doesn't care anymore. It's like, why would I want to save Krypton? And he snaps Jor-El's neck like a twig. Snapped it like a twig. And he says that he's not gonna save Krypton, he's gonna rule Krypton. Then he does something with these little vials, he switches something, and then he sends it off into space, I think. That's what he's gonna do. And yeah, that's where the issue ends. So that was shocking. Find out that Hell's not a real person. All his memories, everything he was trying to do, his supposed friendship with Jor-El, all BS, it's not true. Probably implanted memories or something like that. Also, the big shocking thing at the end though, Zod and Jor-El were killed by Hell. So how is this gonna work out? Like, the fact that Jor-El's dead means that Superman can't exist. So how is this gonna work and everything? Like, they have effectively erased Superman from existence if you think about it. With Jor-El being dead, also the fact that Jor-El at this point in time in his life is like a teenager / young adult. So what is going on? I mean, it was surprising to see, but I'm thinking like, how are they gonna do this without pulling Deus Ex Manica? I think is that what it's called? A Deus Machina or something like that. Yeah, how are they going to pull this off without doing something like that? Because they really have done something really interesting, but it could backfire on them, you know? So I hope they resolve this like soon, and how this tie into Villains Month overall. Will Superman be missing for a lot of this because of the fact that Jor-El has been killed? So yeah, only time will tell. So yeah, that's it for this review, guys. Like I said, a good-ish issue. I'll give this like a 7. It was good. It was fun to read. But mainly the ending was really made this issue, to be honest. So that's why I give it like a 7. It really bumped up the issue, because personally, without the ending, I'd probably have given something like a 5. But the ending really bumped up for me. So I'll give this like a 7. Like I said. Tell me in the comments down below what you think is going to happen, because it is pretty shocking what's just happened. Like, Jor-El has been killed. So how are they going to like work all this out and everything? It will be fun to see how they do this. So yeah, that's it for this review, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Again, tell me in the comments down below what you think is going to happen, and tell me what you thought of this issue overall. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Favorite this video, like, and share with your friends. This has been Comic Quiz. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.